Hello guys, today we're working on the Mk5 GTI again. Now this I would have not had to done, but since I got my tire stretched, I took it to a tire shop in the Bronx, and I didn't have centric rings. So when the guy was putting on the wheel, I'm like, yo, be careful because I don't have centric rings, so the rim might move a little and I don't want you to fuck up my threads on the fucking bearing. He's like, no, I got it. So I get home and I noticed one of the bolts is like out, and I'm like, what the hell? So I went and checked, and he actually stripped the bolts. Here's one of them that's all fucked up. But yeah, he stripped the bolts and he stripped the actual thread inside the bearing. So today's video we're gonna be swapping that out. I got this in ECS tuning. It's actually on sale. I got it for like $130. So first thing you're gonna do is remove the rotor and caliper. So let's get to that. So you want to go ahead and remove the two 21 millimeters from the back of the car, which is one up here and one on the bottom down here. Before you do, you take that little bolt out and you get yourself a little mallet, and before you get it out, you just want to hammer out the disc because it usually stays stuck inside the car. These are still pretty new, so they're not stuck, but if you have a lot of miles in your car, stuff gets rusty, so get that out of the way. You also want to unplug your brake pad sensors and get some zip ties so we can hang the caliper from up top. Alright, so once you have the disc out of the way and the caliper hanging, you want to remove your axles. So what you want to do is a 24 millimeter 12 point. You want to remove the bolt and actually push back on the axle, so it's easier for it to come out. Trust me, sometimes it gets stuck in there, especially you see how rusty this is. Then we're gonna get some little penetrating oil, and there's 4 bolts, 2 on the top, 2 on the bottom. And for those, you're gonna need the special Volkswagen tools. I recommend you get this. It's good for axles, it's good for a lot of stuff, especially Mark 6s. The bolt right here for your suspension is one of those, so it's an M14, so just get yourself one of those. So right now I'm gonna finish taking off the axle, and then under here 3 18 millimeters, so you can drop the control arm down and you're able to get more access to the back and remove the axle out of the way. Okay, now with the 10 millimeter, you want to remove this little bracket off right here. This is for the, if I'm not wrong, for the headlight adjuster. So like your headlights have the xenon, so it adjusts the headlights in front of you. So once you have those bolts out, then you can actually pull out the axle out of the way. And this, because you don't want to break it. I just removed it because I just want it to be out of the way, not break these little clips because they usually break. Alright, so pretty much what you want to do now is get the axle out of here, and then on the back you can see the actual little screws that we're going to take out. It's 4 of them, 2 on the top and 2 on the bottom. Alright, when you are doing these bolts, you want to make sure that the socket it's all the way in there, because if you strip these, you won't be able to get these out. So get a little mallet before you put it in, hammer it in, make sure it's in all the way. These will be rusted in there, so just take your time and do not, you know, mess up the threads in here. All right, so just take those 4 out, and then you're gonna get yourself a little mallet and hammer away, pushing away. If you want to go ahead and turn the wheel opposite, so I turned it to the right, so this faces me, and I'm able to take this out. Okay, so I'm down to the last one. Now what I want to do is, so I don't put no pressure on the tie rod or anything, I'm gonna put these little ball joint bolts back into the control arm, so I can hammer at this. Okay? All right, so once you tighten up the bolts from the back, you know, make sure everything is sort of aligned to how the old one was. What I did is I pushed out the actual bearing assembly out a little, put in the screws first, then tighten them up diagonally so they tighten up. You get your torque wrench and tighten those up real nicely. Put your axle back, your little bolt back there, and then your bushing back in. And these are actually 16 millimeters. I forgot to tell you that before. Put those back on, and then we're gonna put the disc, and pretty much that's it for this video. All right, so I put everything back on already. As you can see, brand new threads on the actual holes for the wheels. You gotta tighten up the 2 bolts in the back real nice and tight. Don't forget to plug in your sensors and put everything back on. And